All right, that's pretty much it. They should.
Ooh, this is a really cool score. It's 3 and 3.
Wow.
I think there's really good arguments on both sides for both of these Protosses. Like, Classic is a more consistent Protoss overall in individual leagues and in Pro League, but YongHwa in recent times has really, really stepped it up.
Yeah, YongHwa has always got potential to be the best in PvP. No doubt about that. He's very, very good. I was very sort of split between this one as well. Like, Classic, he did have a good win in his last Pro League match. YongHwa been doing pretty well. He recently got eliminated in Code A to Bial, actually, 2-3. So, a very close match there. Very disappointing for him, I'm sure. But, yeah, he has got fantastic PvP. And look at that, 4-1.
4-1, 6-1 overall. With a win today, I think it would actually put him onto the scoreboard and pass a few of those others who are at the bottom in 7th place because he has, like, no losses. So, he'd actually get up onto that scoreboard. So, this guy is really, really, really consistently good. Not as many wins as some of the other players in the top winning ranking, but one of the best ratios at 6-1.
Definitely. This guy, though, hasn't lost to PvP this season, though. He's only played 2. Last one being against Stats, actually, which is always a pretty impressive win.
Yeah, no shame in... right, I mean...
No shame in beating Stats.
No shame in beating Stats. That was the wrong word that came out of my mouth. I'm sorry, everybody.
Like, who would you get shamed for beating? Like, maybe Flash or something? If you danced your links at the end, it's like, how could you do that to Flash?
I even say if you, like, do it to a player like Hero or SOS, it's like, oh, come on, he's such a nice guy. Don't do that to him.
Yeah, that's true, too.
But, Classic, interestingly enough, has not been fielded very often at all this year.
He's had a lot of downs in recent times, too.
Well, let's see if he can win this PvP. Otherwise, MVP is going to win and take this upset versus SKT. Down here in the red for MVP, it's YongHwa. His ID and his name, one and the same.
And up here, it be the chin toss. Classic.
Yeah, it's often called the Zealot Protoss because people say he looks like a Zealot with that chin.
I think it has to be a little bit more pointy for that, though, right?
Yeah, he's also called the Pizza Toss because his name is Dou, which also like is the way that you spell dough for pizza. And he's gonna proxy, man. He's like treating YongHwa like State here. He's wanting to do the same thing he did to State.
Yeah, a bit of a bully. All right.
Let's see what kind of proxy this is. I feel like it's gonna be the Stalker version.
I think it has to be from this distance, right?
Yeah. It's gonna be like you need, I think, 13 or 14 probes max for this, and you cut probes there, but you have just enough money to rush those Stalkers out, and you overwhelm and you out-micro your opponent in a very, like you said, far away rush distance or proxy distance. So
yeah, I think it'd have to be. Okay, it's gonna be the 1 gate version. So
yeah,
trying to add a bunch.
Just 1 gate.
Let's see if we can do some big sort of commitment here. Has to make it happen. Has to do a lot of damage, or he essentially gives up a pylon. He gives up his gateway tech, and obviously his probe pulled that early puts him up behind in sort of economy as well.
God,
bit of a risk here.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's nasty of a player to in this situation when SKT is down to proxy like this in such a location. Like if you look at Classic in his cam right now, he just took a big swig of his drink. He's just like got it in his cheeks, man. He's like, this is actually what it feels like to cheese. You're like, okay, I'm doing this. Here we go.
Yep.
Because you have no idea whether it's going to work or not. It's often based on your opponent's movements.
Well, so far for YongHwa, it's looking like it might have been the right choice. He's already got those 2 gases up pretty quick. And he's going to be waiting for that Stalker from his Cybercore, so that's going to be a while as well. The Zealot's going to be in his base before he even begins a unit.
Yeah. I think this is just too far away. Okay, it's going to be obviously relying on Surprise Factory with 2 Zealots and Stalker. It's like exactly what he did to State. Like the exact same build. This is totally relying on Surprise Factor, but that's a long distance.
It is a long distance.
What is he going to hide here at the natural? He's just maybe putting a pylon there to trick him?
Maybe a Stargate. Oh, Twilight. All right.
But that means no Stalker, no Mothership Core because this is a rush. Ooh. This is exactly what Classic wants.
Here comes the Zealot, so he's going to change things up now. Chrono Boost is out. Look at his face in the camera. No emotion whatsoever. He knows what he's doing.
Cancels that Twilight Council immediately to get the Mothership Core out. He's going to need that air-to-ground damage because the Mothership Core is never going to die to these Zealots.
Oh, you don't want to surround 2 Zealots.
No.
No way. Retreats in time to avoid the Mothership Core. Nice timing.
But once the Stalkers start coming out, the Mothership Core takes bonus damage from Stalkers. It is armored, and it actually just has no health, basically. Like, Stalkers just wreck Mothership Cores. He needs to actually kill the Stalker. He needs to target his Stalker and the Mothership Core on that Stalker.
He definitely needs to start targeting that Stalker.
The problem is if he does that, then the Zealots are just going to get in his probe line. It's a pretty lose-lose situation here.
Well, he's going to buy time with the Mothership just for now, while the second Stalker gets out. It looks like the probes are going to be committed to this, so he's going to lose a lot of probes for this.
Yeah, he's already way down in probes, and he's going to lose the Mothership Core too. It's 2 more shots will do it, and he'll lose it.
He's going to lose the Stalker for it. Was that even worth it?
That's a good question. And actually, I think the answer is no, because he can't reinforce quickly enough at this proxy location.
Yeah, I didn't know about that. Looks like he's paranoid, though. He's not going to... Oh, he's just looking for it.
Yeah, he doesn't know where it is, and now he's like, oh, it's that far away, okay.
It's like actually pretty far. I'm like, he's going to have 3 Stalkers out for this. So he can shut it down. It's going to be 2 vs 3.
He shuts it down, but now he's at a worker deficit.
Pretty big one at that.
And I feel like the right move here for YongHwa might actually just be to counterattack and try to get his own damage done. Like, stifle this production by killing this gateway, maybe, or just killing that pylon straight up and then counterattacking and hitting this Nexus.
Yeah, I thought that would have been the right choice. He's not really making probes at this point either. He's really committing. He's going for 2 more gateways. Warp gates almost finished. Looks like he's just going to go all in.
I think that's the right choice, but he's going to lose his probe, which is not going to be able to give him any forward pylons. He's going to lose that right away. See, I think that was a bit overzealous going into the main base there. Not sure about that one.
I think now that that's happened, Classic knows exactly what YongHwa has planned.
Can you check? He knows where the gateway is, right? Okay, well, he definitely does now.
Yeah, he knows where it is.
He's actually going to get 1 warp in off of this gate before that pylon goes down.
I think it's not going to matter at this point. Now 2 sentries get warped in. Mothership Core is going to have enough for a photon overcharge if they ever do get up that ramp. Stargate's finished. Nexus is almost finished at the natural. Like, Classic could not be further ahead.
Yeah. I mean, the Twilight Council that's coming up here, it's just not timed to do anything. Like, if he makes DTs here, it's not going to work. If he makes Blink, it's too slow. I mean, he's up against a 2-base. Like, this counterattack build works really well on, say, Overgrowth, because right now his Stalkers are hitting a Nexus. But on this map, on Vaani Research Station, the Nexus is safe behind the base, behind those sentries. So you can't really just counterattack. Which, when I was saying I think this is the right choice, I even, like, myself absentmindedly thought, like, oh, yeah, I guess you could just go up there with a Stalker and hit the Nexus. But no, on this map, no, you can't. It's back there in safety.
He is just so far behind at this point, just in pure economy alone. But I think just about in every other way as well. Like, these Phoenixes are actually a great choice. They're going to help out so much against Blink Stalkers if they ever try and commit. He's going to pick up half of them, and the rest of his army is going to deal with it.
And this Phoenix is real. Like, I think he probably thinks it's a hallucination, but it comes in there and scouts. So he doesn't even have a Nexus. It's just now started. He can counterattack with this Oracle, too, to keep the pressure on. At this point, I don't think YongHwa could be any further behind.
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty hard way back up there. Already down, 14 supply in probe count, 31 to 27, so it's not too much of a deficit. Just the natural just been mining for so much longer, and will continue to mine for so much longer as the Nexus is only half done for YongHwa.
I mean, just look at the supplies, too. I feel like the only way that YongHwa gets back into this game is if he just turtles super hard, because we do see this in PvP sometimes because it's so hard to actually kill in this mirror matchup. He just turtles really hard, gets like a forge up. He has to take a lot of risks. He gets like a forge up, starts getting forge upgrades. The thing is, if Classic sees that he's turtling, he just takes a 3rd base, and there's literally nothing YongHwa can do about it.
Yeah, I mean, from here, Classic's only going to get bigger. He's going to get to his Robotech. He's going to get like that Death Ball army that you see in the mid-game, maybe Immortals, maybe even Colossus. He does have the time to go for Colossus if he wants to. And he's going to take that 3rd, and it's going to pressure YongHwa to either take a 3rd, that's going to be a lot riskier for him, or to be aggressive, which is going to be no doubt at a deficit in supply and economy.
Yeah, and if he ever moves out, there are Phoenixes and Oracles ready for harass.
Yep, just like that. Shows his hand a little bit. Keep that Phoenix just alive.
This Oracle's so funny. He's come here and be like, well, you don't even have any probes to kill. I guess I already won the game.
Pretty much, right? Pretty much.
This base has 18 probes saturation. In fact, like, probably should just send 2 of those over to the other base to get like a little bit better saturation, right? Like, he has nothing there. He's making, he's getting that forge like I was talking about. He's going to try to turtle here and get ahead, but Classic sees it, matches with his own forge. He's going to take a 3rd base. I think Classic might even just go, yeah, like you're saying, for Colossi here. And he has the Robo's already on the way, actually, as I say this.
Yeah. All he has to do at this point is make the right choices in unit composition, and he can commit to another base if he wants to. There's like literally no risk at this point.
Yeah.
He sees everything that's going on in the base of YongHwa and like, oh, okay, so you're incredibly behind in economy. I know exactly what units you have. You have Blink Stalkers, and you have not many of them. So I can make that third base. And I just have to make Immortals behind it, and you can't touch me.
Yeah, like, this is one of those games where, as we watch this and as we commentate this, like, only a miracle will bring YongHwa back in this game. And he knows that, too. He knows that, like, something has to go horribly wrong for his opponent. He's not going to type out. He's not going to leave the game because in PvP, the game just simply will go on. It will go on, and he's so far behind, but he just has to hope for a miracle. He's also going to try to match Colossi versus Colossi. With the economy the way it is, I don't think he could try to go the other way and try to go like Charge Zealot Archon and Overwhelm because he would need a third base for that. But he doesn't have a composition built to hold on to a third base. If it got scouted, which it would by all these mobile units, the Oracle, the Phoenixes, Classic would just punish him in a second.
Yeah, I think I like the choice if he can get to that stage where they have like nearly maxed out armies. There's like a huge sort of Colossus arc for both sides, and it comes down to more positioning than anything else, at least for the first fight. Yeah. Obviously, like the remax and everything else is going to be a lot quicker for Classic because he's going to have the bank and the economy. But yeah, I think the only chance YongHwa really has is to take it to the late game at this point. Try and defend until then and just take a good fight. That's really going to put him on even ground again.
Yeah, that's his only hope, is to hope for that fight, the Max versus Max. The problem is that he was so far behind that Classic is going to hit Max first, and he's going to hit Max with a siege comp of Colossi with range, with better upgrades most likely. Well, I mean, YongHwa is getting his +2 right now, but if his army is so small that he just gets zoned out, he'll never be able to take a third base. And then literally Classic could just poke with his ranged Colossi. He could do Zealot Warpins in the main. He could just eventually wear him down. And his own counter Colossi, he's just not going to have enough of them.
He's just not going to have enough Colossi in general, I think. It's like he's going to try and keep on even ground with them, but there's already 2 Colossi out. Third one on the way. Templar Archives on the way as well for Classic. So he's going to go into Archon from here and Charge Lot.
You know what? I think, I don't know, for a second there I was thinking YongHwa might actually just attack with all these gates he's adding, but looks like he just wants to add them to make sure he can try to defend this third base.
Yeah, he kind of just wants to make sure his production's up so he can defend and warp in when the time comes. But, he's such a deficit in army supply as well. I don't know. I feel like it's just going to remain that way until Classic decides to fight, and then it could just very well be a bulldoze.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to spoil the ending of the story, guys.
I'm trying to spoil it. I'm telling everyone the ending right now.
I'm just saying, like, this game it's essentially been over 5 minutes ago. But
well, you just spoiled the story completely. Well, I was dancing around that for a while, but
all I'm saying is, like, there is a chance he comes back. We have seen it before. In fact, I think a PvP game that YongHwa played himself, he was massively ahead and lost by, like, accidentally move commanding his Colossi last round.
That can happen.
It happens.
That can happen.
That's why he's still in this game.
He's like, God, I hope you right-click instead of A move.
Literally what he's thinking. I'm not even sugarcoating this for you guys, but he is going to hold on his base. He's doing everything right from a deficit. It's just that deficit is so significant that look at the army supply, 96 to 77. He sees that the third base is made with these Phoenix Scouts, and he's like, okay, remember what I said earlier when I said as soon as he sees the third base, he's going to punish him instantly? Sorry, spoiler alert, it's what's happening. He's coming across the map right now, and he's going to punish this base.
That's exactly what's happening. He sees everything. He sees exactly what he's up against. He's like, well, your army is clearly smaller than mine. I can actually deal with this. Same time, though, we do see YongHwa poking out as well.
Oh, God, this could be horrible.
Could be horrible. Could be a good idea. It might force Classic back, actually, which would be kind of amazing in a way. It's like, wait, that's actually an empty third base. Hang on, you're actually going for like an all-in from here.
Yeah. He's got a Warp Prism that's really scary, by the way. Like, should he just hold this and they trade even, the Warp Prism is going to do massive damage to the third, or to the natural.
Maxed out. He's up 50 supply.
He's up massively in Archons, and he's going to pick an Archon off for free almost, it looks like.
Essentially. It's down to 70 HP.
Time Warps are really important right now, and that Warp Prism is important too. That's one of his warp-in points here, but this Warp Prism is really scary. He's going to remax his army actually at that Warp Prism. Any unit he uses is actually, any unit he loses is going to go right into this base.
Yep, he is. Huge advantage. Here we go. Looks like YongHwa is going to go for it into a horrible concave.
And he gets Time Warped here as well, and a few Zealots come from behind. That Warp Prism is going to get picked off here by the Phoenixes, and that is going to be game over. Classic is just ripping through this one, and the Zealots are still doing damage, I think, at that Warp Prism. Oracle even looking for some damage here.
Why not?
GG, it's Monday. We're going to an ace match, Moonglade.
We're going to an ace match. And, you know, it's been a pretty exciting one. MVP definitely has SKT on the ropes. And the ace match. God, I wish I wrote down the ace match map. I forgot to do it this time.
I'm going to look that up for you. I think it's Sejong, but I can't remember for sure.
That would be interesting. Sejong map.
And because I didn't write that one down either. It is King Sejong. I was right.
Okay.
My memory's better than I thought.
Got a good memory, Mace.
So, Sejong, a great map. Who do you think we're going to see here?
I think Lacira. And I think it's going to be up against...
Who, though? That's the question. Who's it going to be up against? Innovation? I don't think so. I feel like they might even use Classic here again.
They could use Su.
They could use Su.
Su's obviously been practicing for ZVZ. This could be his time.
There's also a chance that because they expect to see Su, maybe YongHwa is looking better in PVZ or something, and they're feeling like...
Oh, they don't want to play against Su in ZVP right now.
I wouldn't either.
He just won 2 best-of-5 ZVP.
That's true, actually.
That would be a scary, scary idea.
It just feels like Lucira is too predictable, and that's the only reason why I'm trying to come up with counter arguments.
Well, he's super predictable, but he is the best by far on this team.
Well, let's wait and see here. There's definitely viable choices on both sides. I feel like a lot more choices for T1 here. And they've got a great player to pick from each race, no matter what they're feeling.
Yeah, they can choose anyone, man. You could bring out Doc with something, like, what?
They really could. They actually could. They put Sari out. I'm like, whoa.
That's ballsy. Like, I guess you really just do want your players to practice today or something.
Sorry, got some more booth experience, but we need to get him some ace match experience as well.
So that's really rolling the dice.
Well, we're going to get that reveal here in just a second, guys. This is one of those really tough to call ace matches. Lucira, definitely the most likely candidate for MVP.
Any moment now.
Any moment now. The tension is building. All right, there's that zoom out. Give me those silhouettes. I want to see them. All right, there they are. The players will be revealed right now. Center versus Is that? No, it's Su.
That's Su. All right, I got half of it right. Center now. That's an interesting pickup. I'm sure they weren't expecting him.
Well, I'm going to have to... I know Center did play a few times recently for them, but I'm going to have to do some research here during our break, man, to try to really solve this one.
Yeah, this should be a very interesting match. Kind of lacking it there. Still dangerous against Su, but definitely not the matchup Su was expecting or practicing for in recent times.
Well, is this a mistake to use Center? It could be.
I think it was very sort of planned out. I think it's actually a fantastic move from them. It's probably the best chance they have. I guess it really depends on what matchup he's been practicing for, but I think it probably was TVZ.
Yeah, definitely a possibility. We're going to look into that a little bit here in this 10-minute break we're going to take before we go to this ace match. Spread the word. Tell your friends. We'll be right back.